Happy Memorial Weekend, everybody. Cheers. Hope you're all having a great day. You're ready to check out 4 properties under $60,000. One has 4 acres of land. One is just shy of 3 acres, and that house is under $30,000. Today, we're headed into Pennsylvania and New York. Hope you're all having a great day. It's great to be with you. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. So this is where we're going to begin in Grindstone, PA. This cute little place is sitting on 1.41 acres. 3-bedroom, 1 bath with 1,110 square feet of living space. 428 Grindstone Road in Grindstone, PA. So let's see what we're getting for $59,900 on 1.4 acres of land. Look at how pretty this place is. Now this is a foreclosure, could be a cash deal. And we're in Fayette County where your population is 592 people. So here we do have 2 covered entrances, 2 covered porches. We're on a concrete block foundation. Looks like white vinyl siding. You can always have your home inspections and general contractors come out. But we're looking at under $60,000. This is really nice. So there's your fuel oil tanks. You may want to replace those and modernize your heat system. This house may need a new roof. But here's one of the covered porches, trimmed in wrought iron. We have awnings over the windows, and I do have some AI renderings, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, it looks like it may need a roof and gutters. But under $60,000 in Fayette County, Pennsylvania, and in PA, your real estate tax rate is 1.41%. So that's higher than the national average of 0.99. Okay, so we're headed right on into maybe the living room. So we're getting wallpaper. We're getting a variation of flooring. Nice big window there. Under $60,000, $59,900. You can always make offers. And when you have your home inspections, they'll let you know the longevity of the roof, your foundation. They'll check mechanicals. They'll let you know if your windows are wood, vinyl, or aluminum, sometimes wrought iron. Here's our kitchen. So you do have a double sink. You do have some cabinets. You have a nice big window. And I have an AI rendering of this kitchen. This isn't bad for under $60,000. So we may have hardwood flooring beneath this red carpet. Now there in the corner, we do see what looks like it could be a little bit of mold. It could be shadowing. But this is something that you'd want to have, you'd want to draw some attention to immediately. Mold has to be eradicated quickly. And there are various ways to do it. Some of you have shared some nice thrifty or nifty ideas for remediating mold. That's always helpful. Love reading the comments. Keep them coming, you guys. Let me know what you would do with this house, with the interior or exterior. This one looks like a good one. And again, we're in Grindstone, Pennsylvania. And while you're fixing it up, you can listen to some Tyler Childers. He's got a song about the grindstone. So here is our bathroom. So they do have a tub and shower combination, your vanity. So I have AI renderings of the bathroom also. Nice towel holders there. Yeah, I put in a single shower, but the AI rendering did a nice job for that bathroom, which I'll show you at the end of the video. Here we do have paneling in this room. Looks like a bedroom. $59,900 in Grindstone, Pennsylvania. 1.41 acres of land. You could have a hobby farm here. Raise some animals, raise some kids, raise some dogs. Okay, so here is our concrete block basement with your water heater. There's your furnace. $59,900. It's just another house that needs saved, right? We're here to save houses. So if you're new to the channel, you're welcome to subscribe and join our growing community because this is where we venture through state to state, through town to town, just to see how much house, cabins, and acreage, and sometimes churches we get for our money. And this is a nice one. Look at, you got your tire there for your flower box. For that pop of color, that is very, very nice for $59,900. 428 Grindstone Road, and the listing descriptions, the listing agencies are found in the description boxes below the videos. So this has been on the market 10 days, hot off that listing press, built in 1900. So let's see our street view. Look at this. How nice is this? So there's a fork in the road and you take a right. So you don't have anyone across the street. It looks very private. Grindstone, Pennsylvania right now, or right here for $59,900. Wow, that's nice. So let's see where we are on the map. Okay, so we're going to scroll out here. So again, we're in Fayette County with this one here. So you have Monessen up here to the north. So we're not going to be too far from Pittsburgh with this property right here. Yeah, you're probably about an hour and 20 minutes or so south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we're to the west of Connellsville and Scottsdale. And we're right near Brownsville. So you're right off of Highway 70. So we are south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with Grindstone, PA right here. So this is southern PA on the west side. 428 Grindstone Road. And the listing description says 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranch on just over 1.4 acres. You have a full basement, 2 covered porches. Needs some TLC, but it makes a great starter, and I would highly agree. And so when we look at the history, it was just listed. It's 125 years old, so there's longevity with the seller. And the taxes on $43,210 say they were $1,484 in 2025. And again, the real estate tax rate is 1.41%. That's a nice property for somebody for under $60,000, and never be afraid to make the offer. When they are foreclosures and owned by the bank, they want to part ways with these properties. So now we're headed into Hadley, Pennsylvania. Look how cute this one is. 4 acres of land right here, everybody. This is another foreclosure, it says. $56,000. Cute little 1-bedroom, 1-bath house with a 2-car detached garage. Again, another one that's been on the market for 10 days. Built in 1944. You'll find this one at 1312 Petersburg Road, Hadley, Pennsylvania, 16130, $56,000. What are we getting? How cute is this? So in the AI rendering of this one, I removed the shrubs. This is cute. 1-bedroom, 1-bath, so it's larger than a tiny house with a 2-car detached garage. This house does have a shingle roof, our beautiful covered porch. Now in Hadley, PA, we're in Mercer County. Median home values in this area are over $215,000 also. So there's always room for equity growth. Look at our kitchen. And I have a rendering of the kitchen, but this is very nice. You have nice cabinets. You have a countertop, window above your sink. Looks like a vinyl window. Could be vinyl flooring. $56,000 right here. Looks like we're going to need some new countertop, but we do have what looks to be a light switch there, but it doesn't look like there's any other outlets below the cabinets there and above the counter. But plenty of room for, counter high appliances, or counter appliances, I should say, with the depth there. Nice. That looks like laminate flooring. That could be one of the bedrooms, maybe a home office. Okay, so here's your bathroom with linen storage. Look at the nice vanity and nice countertop. Looks like the sink's updated. Do you have the window? And we're in Hadley, Pennsylvania, 4 acres of land. You do have a tub. Not sure if there's a shower. They fit that sink right in there very nicely. Okay, so this could be another bedroom. Wow, look at this. We do have a fireplace. So that may be the living room. Looks like it's going to need some attention. But we don't expect them to be new and shiny when they're $56,000. There we have our basement. So it's concrete block. There's your mechanicals, your ductwork. That looks really nice. $56,000 in Hadley, Pennsylvania. There's your electrical panel. There's your Luxair furnace. Definitely going to get 4 seasons in PA, right? There's your 2-car detached garage. Look at that. So that may need a roof. But again, when you're there in person, you get down to the fine details, but you do have a nice paved driveway. You have gutters that are coming down the side of the garage. Looks like it does need a window replacement. There is a back deck on the house as well as that front covered porch. Automated garage door openers. Look at this, $56,000. That's really cute. Shingle roof on the house. Looks like that's nice and private also. Super cute little place right here for somebody to scoop up and save. 1312 Petersburg Road, Hadley, Pennsylvania. Been in the market 10 days. Let's look at our street view for this one. Look how pretty this is. So we do have neighbors with this house, but there isn't anyone across the road. Wide open spaces. Wow, very pretty pines. That is a very pretty property. $56,000 right here, you guys. Looks like we're near Sheikleyville. So let's see here. There's your fire department. There's your Dollar General if you need one. So we're near Shirley's Twin Kiss. Ooh, we have a winery nearby over here to the east. So when we're scrolling out on the map, we have Milledgeville over to the east. We have Geneva up to the north. We have Mercer down to the south. Cambridge Springs up to the north. And then Pittsburgh is way down here to the south. So we are north of Newcastle, but we're on the west side of Pennsylvania to the southwest of Cochranton and to the northeast of Greenville, right above Stoneboro and above Franklin. 1312 Petersburg Road. And for the description, this one says cute 1-bedroom home with updated electric, new furnace, full basement, 2 to 3 car detached garage, all on a 4-acre lot. That is sweet little find right there for somebody. $56,000. And again, never be afraid to make the offer. These banks are not sitting on them thinking they're going to make a bunch of money, right? So it was, this one was sold for $89,000 in 2020. Now they're listing it 5 years later for $56,000. It's 81 years old. And the tax history on this one says the assessment was $10,600 and the taxes were $925. So not sure if that was just for the land maybe. But again, check the county clerk's office to get the accurate information on the taxes. House was built in 44, $56,000. 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And if you think the price is too high, never be afraid to make that offer. That is cute with a 2-car detached garage, 4 acres of land. And remember, we're getting the well, the septic, the house, and the utilities. Now we're headed into Mercer, PA, so this is going to go south of that listing there. This one's $34,000, you guys. 1 acre of land, 1,464 square feet of living space, 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom at 446 East Beaver Street, Mercer, PA 16137. It's been in the market 14 days, built in 51. So let's see what we're getting for $34,000. Look at this. I have renderings of this one also. Look how cute this is. So it looks like it's been vacant a while. There's a lot of notifications on that front door. But we're going to remove these shrubs, plant some new flowers for that pop of color. Looks like we have an enclosed porch on the left side of the house. Looks like we're on a concrete foundation. We have a shingle roof that may need replaced. Here's your laundry room with vinyl flooring. $34,000. Now in here, we're in Mercer County, and your population is 1,933 people. Look at the kitchen. And I have a rendering of this, and it turned out great. And I did keep the green countertop on the renderings, but this is a cute kitchen. That looks like vinyl flooring. It's very vintage. So here looks like this could be maybe a living room or a bedroom, kind of hard to tell, but it does have baseboard heat. Looks like those are vinyl slider windows. And again, we're at $34,000 with this house. And the median values are over $200,000 in this county. Beautiful windows. Look at that. Those are very nice. You may find hardwood floor beneath the carpet. Now it looks like something may have leaked there. But again, home inspections. But $34,000, you may be able to get it for $24,000. You never know until you try. There's our bathroom. Not bad. Looks like I don't know about you guys, because I could move right in here. I could work my magic, right? I bet you could too. $34,000, that's way less than paying rent for a year or two. Now again, it looks like there might be some moisture on that wall, but again, it could be the photograph, it could be a crack. So when you're there in person, you get down to the fine details. Wow, look at that porch. How pretty is that? Wrapped in windows. They do look aluminum. But again, at $34,000, there's room for growth. There's room for potential. That's nice. You have a covered porch. You have an enclosed porch. Porches are just fantastic, especially in the spring and summer and fall, even in the winter. Look at how nice that is. So there is your little area with your mechanicals, kind of tucked back in there on its own, easy access. And there's another view of the outside. This is cute too for $34,000. 446 East Beaver Street. Nice find right there for somebody. Let's see our street view. Look how pretty this is. So we're in a neighborhood. You have sidewalks for that walkability. That always adds some value. Tucked behind the trees and shrubs. Cute little neighborhood, but we always do diligence and we always research the neighborhoods. So let's see where we are on the map. We are going to be below the previous listing. Yeah, so there's Hadley where the previous listing was. So here's Mercer. Here's Elwood City to the south. And then you have Pittsburgh down south here, and Newcastle's in Grove City is right to the south of this location. So you're on the west side of Pennsylvania, not far from Ohio with this one. 446 East Beaver Street. And then again, it's $34,000. It states it's a foreclosure on an acre of land. And if you want more land, always ask the agent if the seller has more land available that's not attached to the listing. This house was built in 51. And it says a solid 2-bedroom ranch with updated electric, newer furnace, 1-car garage, all situated on 1 acre. 1-car garage also. And when we look at the history on this one, it was just listed, so there's longevity with the seller. The house is 74 years old. And for the taxes on $18,000 assessment, it says they were $2,050. But again, check for accuracy on that with your county clerk. $34,000. A nice little house right there. 1,464 square feet. 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. That's nice. Now we're headed into Friendship, New York. Look at this place. $29,900 on 2.9 acres of land. Now this house has been on the market for 234 days. So it's been on the market a while. 1,832 square feet, 3 bedrooms and 1 bath at 22 Queen Anne Street in Friendship, New York, 14739. It's built in 1920. And so let's see what we're getting for $29,900 in Friendship, New York, 2.9 acres of land. This could be a farm. Look at how pretty this is. Wraparound porch, kind of like a 4-square design for the architecture. Looks like it has a metal roof. Now in Friendship, New York, we are in Allegany County where your population is 1,960 people and the real estate tax rate is 1.54%. But when you're paying less than $30,000, even if you renovate it, your taxes may not get to be too high if you keep it on the, if you don't do a whole lot with what they see here on the exterior. There's a detached garage. Wow. $29,900 and another foreclosure, so never be afraid to make the offer. Look at this, and it's been on the market a while. So the porch looks like it's going to need some attention on the deck floor there, but it's a wraparound porch. General contractor can come out and take a look and see what you're in for here. Friendship, New York. Allegany County. Look at this. I have an AI rendering of the kitchen. That's a good sized kitchen though. Vinyl flooring, does have a dishwasher, has a gas range, window above the sink. That's probably an old enamel or porcelain sink. This is nice. $29,900. This may be a cash deal also. Maybe you've got some family that could help you buy this house, or maybe you've got somebody you could live with. You can share the expenses if you've got $15,000 a piece. Maybe you could get it for $20,000. Hard to say really without trying. But look at this. So you've got a double doorway there off the kitchen, and then looks like you've got a living area. Yeah, you're going to need ceiling work here, but look at those gorgeous windows. I bet there's hardwood floor beneath that carpet. Let's roll it up and remove it, right? Wow. Friendship, New York in Allegany County. So there's our beautiful paneling, but it's really not bad. So I'm not sure what's going on here, if that's, because you gotta, looks like that was a window at one time maybe, and they took the glass out of it. But again, all the more reason to go check it out in person. Wow, $29,900. Under $30,000 for a house. Anybody looking in New York, Allegany County. Good size house too. On almost 3 acres of land with a garage. So plenty of room if you want to put up an outbuilding or a small barn if you want to have some animals. So there's your staircase leading us up to the next level. I'd want to open that right up because you've got a room right there. Definitely want to get in there and see what I could do with this one. Let me know in the comments what you guys would do with this beautiful house. It needs saved, right? Someone needs to scoop this up. That may be carpet in the bathroom, and you know what we say about that. Let's roll it up and roll it out of the window. Or throw it out the window, I should say. But there's another bathroom, full bathroom nonetheless. Or at least a half bath. So these are more than likely bedrooms upstairs. The old enamel doorknobs. Wow, and that's all they're going to show us, unfortunately. But this is 299 in Friendship, New York. That is a beautiful house right there, just the way it sits. Beautiful. 22 Queen Anne Street. Nice address. Friendship, New York, 14739. So let's see our street view for this one. Look at how pretty this is. So you've got a tree line there. You do have some neighbors. You have a sidewalk. Wow, look at this. You've got beautiful property across the road. Beautiful area right here. Anybody looking in Friendship, New York, save this house. That is very nice. Let's see where we are on the map. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here. I got to go back one. Sorry about that. Here we go. And let's check out the map. Where are we in Friendship, New York? Queen Anne Street. Okay, so here we are. We have Farmstead Friends right here nearby. We've got Belmont over to the east. So we are, Angelica is up here to the northeast. Let's see here. Geneseo is up there to the north. We have Rochester up to the north. And down to the south, we have Olean and Wellsville. So we're in southern New York with this one, not far from the PA line. And then you have Salamanca, New York over here on the west, and Cuba and Bath, and let's see, Watkins Glen is over here to the east. So if any of you like to go to Watkins Glen, this is not too terribly far from that. So we're west of Belmont in Friendship, New York, 22 Queen Anne Street. Been on the market 234 days, 2.9 acres of land too. So the well, the septic, the house, the utilities. It's a Fannie Mae property, spacious and quiet lot, located close to your needed amenities. You have the covered wraparound porch. You have a nice open plan, detached garage, and you also have extra storage. And for the history on this one's been sold for $44,000 in 2007. They listed it in October for $57,700. They've reduced it several times. Now they're down to $29,900, so it looks like they're motivated. The house is 105 years old. And the assessment was $63,300 and the taxes were $29,616. Beautiful property right there for someone looking in Friendship, New York, and then wants some acreage. Maybe you want to have a little farm. That's very nice for $29,900. Here we are back at the Grindstone, PA property, $59,900. So let's see what our ChatGPT AI rendering did for us here. So here is our exterior. Isn't that pretty? So they painted the foundation a little bit darker color and kept the stairs there and our covered porches. It's a very pretty property right there with a fresh coat of paint. And that's $59,900 and Grindstone, PA. And then here's our Grindstone kitchen. So we added black cabinets with hardware, drop-in sink, kept the window, just added a couple more cabinets on the lower and upper. They even kept the wallpaper. And for our Grindstone bathroom, it is right here. So this is what it currently looks like, and that's what it could look like with a single shower, the window. Very nice and ceramic flooring. And that's the Grindstone, PA property. And here is our Hadley property here, $56,000 on 4 acres of land. So our Hadley property exterior, I removed the shrubs, added some pop of color, painted the garage and the front door black, cleaned it up a little bit. But that is PA, Hadley, Pennsylvania right there. $56,000 property, 4 acres. And then here is our Hadley kitchen. So that's what it currently looks like. And this is what it could look like with a farmhouse sink. Kept the window, kept the cabinets. Just added a little different hardware maybe. But isn't that pretty? Just freshened up. They kept the flooring. So not a whole lot of changes there to add a lot of, to put a lot of money in, I should say. That would cost you a lot of money. And then, did I have any other ones for my Hadley? Here's I guess I didn't do any more with the Hadley. So then here we're moving into Mercer. So this is our Mercer property here. And here is the Mercer exterior with a fresh coat of paint. Painted the door blue. And they added an enclosed porch. So they didn't keep the porch there like it shows, but that just gives you an indication of what it could look like with flowers along your pathway, just cleaned up, and with a new roof. And that property, again, is $34,000. And then here we have our Mercer kitchen. Look at this. So we kept the countertop, put in a white stove, white wall oven, kept the flooring, just cleaned it up. And this house here is $34,000. Isn't that a nice kitchen? I love the blue countertop. And so that one's $34,000 on an acre. And this house in Friendship, New York. So this one here for $29,900. And we changed over the kitchen. So there's your kitchen. So we added a little different vinyl, looks like vinyl flooring, maybe hardwood. There's your range in stainless with a range hood. And then drop-in sink with your dishwasher. Isn't that pretty? So that's what this old kitchen could look like with some help and money, I guess. And just shows you what we could do with our imaginations anyway. And so here is the Friendship living room. So there is what it currently looks like. So here it is with new ceiling. If you want to hang drywall, if you want to paint it green, and some hardwood flooring. But isn't that lovely? And that is before and after. So these are houses that we'd have to roll up our sleeves and get our hands a little dirty and put some sweat equity into. However, between $59,900 and $29,900, not bad finds right there. Any of you looking in PA or in Friendship, New York, and you want a little bit of acreage. It's always great to be with you guys. I hope you have a fabulous Memorial weekend. Go out and enjoy yourselves. Please be safe, and we will see you in the next State of Interest, the next episode. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Tell your grown kids to subscribe to the channel so they can see there are houses out there that we can save that are way below the median sale prices on Zillow. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers, and may there be gratitude in your glass.